Mrs. Travers, sir. She desires you to ring her up at her house in town.
I will do even better. I will call in person. My Aunt Dahlia, as you may recall, is my good and deserving aunt, not to be confused with my Aunt Agatha, who eats broken bottles and kills rats with her teeth. And apart from the intellectual pleasure of chewing the fat with her, there is always the glittering prospect of lunch, courtesy of her virtuosic chef, Anatole. I found the old flesh and blood up to a Marcel wave in proof sheets, she being the proprietress of a weekly paper for the delicately nurtured called Milady's Boudoir.
Hello, Ugly. What brings you here?
I understood, aged relative, that you wished to confer with me. What will Anatole be giving us for lunch?
He won't be giving you anything, my gay young tapeworm. I'm entertaining Pomona Grindle, the novelist. I'm trying to get a serial out of her for the boudoir. I only telephoned to tell you to go to an antique shop in the Brompton Road and sneer at a cow creamer.
Do what? Do a what?
They've got an 18th century silver cow creamer there that your Uncle Tom is going to buy this afternoon. A sort of cream jug. Ask them to show it to you and then register scorn.
The idea being what?
To sap their confidence, chump, so they clip the price a bit. If I sign the Grindle up for this cereal, I shall be compelled to get into Tobin's ribs for a biggish sum of money. And the cheaper he gets this cow creamer, the cheerier he'll be when I do. Oh, yes, and tell them it's modern Dutch.
Why?
I don't know. Apparently it's something a cow creamer ought not to be. So pop off and shake your head at the thing.
Always glad to oblige, you know, but I'm afraid I can't shake my head. Not today. I gave a small bachelor binge for Guisse Fink-Nottle last night, and my head...
So that's how it is. Old spink bottle, eh? How was the old newt fancier?
Pretty roguish, actually. I was astounded. We drank his health and called for a toast, and I was all prepared for a blushing refusal. But he rose to his feet and held us spellbound.
Good old spink bottle. I'm not going to the wedding, though. I disapprove of Sir Watkyn Bassett and don't think he ought to be encouraged.
You know the old crumb, then?
We had him staying with us last month. He and Tom compete at collecting old silver. And do you know how he repaid my hospitality? Sneaked round my back and tried to steal Anatole.
No!
Fortunately, Anatole proved staunch after I doubled his wages.
Double them again. Keep on doubling them. Pour out money like water rather than lose God's gift to the gastric juices.
Yes. Well, that's the sort of horn-swoggling highbinder Sir Watkyn Bassett is. And now push off. I've got about 6 tons of proofs to correct. Can I rely on you not to bungle that job?
I go to antique shop.
In the Brompton Road.
Ask to see cow creamer.
And sneer. Right. Buzz along.
There were 2 customers in the antique shop as I entered.
Meow.
And a large cat. And though quite a slab of misty fruitfulness had drifted into the emporium, I was able to note that one of these customers was old Pop Bassett himself, in person. Not a picture.
I know you, young man. Oh, I never forget a face. You came up before me once, but not twice. Good. Learned your lesson, eh? Going straight. Now, let me see. What was it? Don't tell me. It's coming back. Oh, of course, yes. Bag snatching.
No. I just pinched
Bag snatching. I remember it distinctly. Still, it's all past and done now, eh? Oh, splendid. Roderick, come over here. This is most interesting.
What? Oh, yes.
Roderick Spode was a breathtaking cove. I don't know if you've ever seen those pictures in the papers of dictators with blazing eyes inflaming the populace with fiery words, but that was what he reminded me of. It was as if nature had intended to make a gorilla and had changed its mind at the last moment.
Look at this chap. I gave him 3 months not long ago for bag snatching. And it's quite evident he's reformed.
Oh, yes.
I remember thinking that he would have been the ideal man to sneer at a cow creamer.
Look at him. Well-groomed and dressed, a decent member of society. What you doing now, young man?
Stealing umbrellas, apparently. I notice he's got yours, Watkyn.
I was on the point of denying this hotly when it suddenly struck me like a blow from a sock stuffed with wet sand that there was a lot in it. What had caused me to pick up this umbrella as I entered the shop, I cannot say, unless it was the primeval instinct which makes a man without an umbrella reach for the nearest one in sight like a flower groping for the sun. Though I say, I'm most frightfully sorry.
I'm sorry, too. And frightfully disappointed.
But listen, it was a mistake. I thought it was mine.
Ah! That is your fundamental trouble, young man. You are totally unable to distinguish between meum and tuum. Well, I'm not going to have you arrested this time, but I advise you to be very careful.
Yes.
Ha!
Can I help you, sir?
Oh, yes. I understand you have an 18th century cow creamer for sale.
You're too late. It's promised to a customer.
Name of Travers. He sent me here to have a look at the thing. I expect it's rotten.
It's a beautiful cow creamer. Take a look at it yourself.
We shall see. Oh, tut, tut, tut. Oh, dear, dear, dear. Oh, no. All wrong.
All wrong?
All wrong. Modern Dutch.
It's 18th century English. Look at the hallmark.
I can't see any hallmark.
Are you blind? Take it outside in the sunlight.
I started for the door, sauntering in a languid sort of way. But I'd only taken a couple of steps when...
Ow!
I tripped over the cat. Now, you can't combine tripping over cats with languid sauntering. The cow creamer flew from my hands, and I shot out the door, straight into Sir Watkyn Bassett.
Oh, what? I'm sorry. You!
No,
Call a policeman, Roderick. Please!
No,
Police!
No, really,
Police! Stop there! Stop there! Stop!
Stop! Well, I mean to say, all the damn silly ideas. I legged it to the nearest Turkish bath. My stay there brought the roses back to my cheeks, and it was practically with a merry tra-la-la that I finally latch-keyed my way back into the flat that evening.
Good evening, sir. These telegrams arrived while you were out, sir.
I don't know if you were among those who followed my earlier adventures with Guisse Fink-Nottle. But if you did, you will recall that the dirty work on that occasion began with a tidal wave of telegrams. I therefore found myself eyeing this mound of them askance. They had all been dispatched from the Bassett estate at Totley-in-the-Wold. They ran as follows.
Wooster, Berkeley Mansions, Berkeley Square, London. Come immediately. Serious rift, Madeline and self. Reply, Gus here. Surprised, no answer to telegram saying, come immediately. Serious rift, Madeline and self. Reply, Gussie. I say, Bertie, why don't you answer my telegrams? Unless you come earliest possible moment, wedding will be broken off. Reply, Gussie.
Are you ill, sir?
I passed an agitated H over the B. All of a Twitter, Jeeves. Read these. Jeeves is well aware that any threat to the Bassett-Fink-Nottle nuptials is an equal threat to Bertram's bachelorhood.
Most disturbing, sir.
Deep waters, Jeeves?
Extremely deep, sir.
Well, I certainly can't go. Old Bassett thinks I'm a career bag snatcher. He'd sling me out the moment I arrived. All right. Take a wire, Jeeves.
Sir.
Fink-Nottle, Totley Towers, Totley-in-the-Wold. Yes, it's all very well to say come immediately, but relations between Pop Bassett himself, such as to cause him inevitably hurl Bertram out on ear and set dogs on. What has happened? Why serious rift? Why wedding broken off? What have you been doing to the girl? Reply, Bertie. The answer came after dinner.
See difficulty, but think we can work it. In spite rift, still speaking terms, Madeline. Told her you are pleading permission to come. Expect invitation shortly. P.S. Please bring book My Friends the Newts, published Popgood and Gruely, available any bookshop.
On the morrow, 2 more telegrams arrived.
Bertie, you old ass. Hear from Cousin Madeline you're coming. Delighted. Something very important you must do for me. Stiffy.
Please come here if you wish, but, oh, Bertie, is this wise? Will not it cause you needless pain seeing me? Madeline.
Oh.
Isn't that young hound awake yet, Jeeves? Still sunk in hoggish slumber, I suppose.
Aunt Dahlia charged across the threshold.
Oh, there you are.
I was about to partake in the morning meal before departing. You will join me, I hope. Just say the word and we can do you a couple of kippers.
Kippers? Tell Jeeves to fix the brandy and soda. And if he forgets the soda, it'll be all right with me. Bertie, a frightful thing has happened. What do you mean, departing?
I'm off to Totley Towers. I've had the most disturbing...
Totley Towers? Well, I'm dashed. That's just what I came to tell you. We've jolly well got